Hey friends, Julia here from Accessorize Your Life. Thank you for tuning into this video. I'm so happy to be with you today, and especially since I'm looking at Dior. I have some things back there that I want to apply to my face. Nothing new, and actually that's what this video is about, because I'm struggling and I need your help. I felt like doing this video would help me. You and I together here would help me decide as to whether or not I really want to purchase one of Dior's latest palettes. Well, we know that Peter Phillips, the director of makeup from Dior, has come out with several collections, and they have to do with fabric. He's taken some inspiration, I guess I should say, from fabric that Dior has used in their couture line of fashion, and he's applying it to makeup. So the first two palettes that came out earlier this month or early last month or so had to do with a motif on it, and it had an overlay of gold, and I think they were called the Toile d'Azur, and this is based around 12 fabric. So there were two palettes, one a pinkish and one a coral. The coral was warm and the pink was cool, and I was interested in the pink. So that didn't suit me. I don't need a cool palette. I know a lot of people do buy them, but with Dior I find that it's already just a wash of color. You know, it's barely there. And if I go with a cool palette, it's just not for me with my complexion. So, and the fact that that beautiful overlay is rubbed off when you use the palette, I said no. The beautiful palette, beautiful presentation, beautiful colors, but not for me. And his second venture into using fabric and textiles was this nude collection, where he came out with 4 palettes. And these are beautiful. They're the new neutrals, and they're in a beautiful replica of the Dior purse. That black purse with the nice quilting look to it, much like this mirror compact that I have from Dior. This is beautiful. I had to have it. I was so glad to get it in my collection. Well, that's what lured me in towards these 4 nude palettes, because the packaging was beautiful and they were neutrals. So I thought this would be a good collection to look into. This might be something I want to get. So I'm trying to talk myself out of it the more I look into it, because one thing I found right off the bat is that the palette that has the lovely canage print on it is plastic. It's not cloth or material like this one is. So that was a bummer for me. But the palettes themselves are pretty. I think so. But they have key features, which let's get into. First of all, like I said, the design on the palette is elegant. It's black. It's the canage design, and it replicates the Lady Dior handbag. So that in itself is nice, but it's plastic, so that's a takeaway. Highly pigmented, Dior says. Long-wearing, long-lasting color for all skin types, it says. And it has unique shades, unique nude shades, I should say. And it's got this texture design about it. It's comfortable makeup with a no makeup feel. And again, it's 4 nudes that are limited edition, and they're timeless wearable nudes. That's what Dior says as the key features of this line. They're made in France and they retail at $71. So they've gone up some. And I guess that's because they're using new ingredients, and we'll talk about that a little later. But for right now, I find that high-end palettes usually are a wash of color. They're easy to blend. They have little fallout or smudging, and the shelf life, definitely with Dior, is less, like 6 months. That's a no-no in my book, but I don't listen to myself. I've purchased a handful or more of Dior palettes with 6-month shelf life. And they're usually a buttery formula that is soft. But let's get into the formula. Now, Dior has come out in the last year or two with a new formula, and they revamped some of their previous palettes with this formula. And they use natural origin pigments. And they also put in cornflower extract, which I think has made them a more cleaner brand when it comes to their eyeshadows. Now, the cornflower extract has properties that I wasn't aware of. So cornflower extract is really good for the skin. I didn't know that. It has benefits like it is anti-inflammatory. That means it really reduces swelling and redness. It is antioxidant, and it helps with aging, so signs of aging is reduced. And it is good for sensitive skin by reducing redness and irritation. It also helps with dark circles and puffiness around the eyes. So there's some good things about having cornflower extract in your makeup and eyeshadows there. Now these new limited edition palettes come in 3 finishes: satin, matte, and pearl. And they're beautiful. I have to say they're very pretty. They show well, and for me, a mature person with, imperfections around my eyes, I don't have to worry, I hope, about them being too glittery and glitter fallout as much. And I don't want that at this point in my life. I want eyeshadows that are smooth and that help enhance my eyes and kind of reduce the look of my, my hooded eyelid and all of the little things that are happening around my eyes, fine lines, and all of the texture that is there from plucking my brows so much. So I'm interested, I'm intrigued. I like the fact that the cornflower extract is a property in the eyeshadows. For $71, I guess it's not bad. They could have gone up to $74, and I would have paid it for sure if it had this quilted canage pattern like this and not the plastic. But I see where they're coming from, because most of their, at least all of the eyeshadow palettes, the little, quints that I have, are plastic. Now I do have some special editions, that they release around the holidays that is in different material, and I think they should have done that for this, but I get it. Okay, glasses back on before we go over there to the drawers and pull out some dupes. So 557 is here, brown cashmere. Dior says that brown cashmere embodies the look or softness of the cashmere fabric with its warm beiges and dark browns. Now this would be the ideal palette for me, but it's just a little too boring. I feel like I have this in my collection already. Now on to 647, which on the site Dior had it mixed up. They said 647 in one place and 674 in another place, but it's silk taupe. And Dior says that silk taupe is a delicate and sensual look of silk with its cool browns and pale pearl pink and taupey creams. This is beautiful, but I think it's too cool for my taste. I do have a palette that I could dupe with this one, I think, but we'll move on to 671, which is Coral Couture. Now Dior says that Coral Couture is a voluptuous as velvet with its creams and pop of coral. To me, it has a saddle colored brown in it that makes it quite alluring and interesting. But I think I have something similar to this, or quite close to it, in my collection. Now the last one, 857, I think it's soft and I think it's muted, but it's the one I'm most interested in duping, and it is Rose Organza. Dior says Rose Organza pays homage to the delicacy of the organza fabric with its warm pinky rose iridescent pearl white, which in my mind might read glitter. I'm hoping not. And it has medium brown shades. And I kind of think this one would work well with me, even though it still looks not as warm as I'd like it to look. 857. But guys, that's the long and short of this collection. It's limited edition, so if I'm going to get that Rose Organza, I have to do it pretty quickly. And the thing is, I'm hoping this video helps me decide, quite frankly, if I need to pull in the reins and not get it, or if I should just snatch it up and be done with all of the turmoil I'm putting myself through. But what I'm going to do is scope out my collection for a dupe. of rose organza. So I hope that is something you're interested in seeing. Plus I'm going to apply whatever I pull from thinking that it's a dupe and the rest of the Dior makeup I have. So if you're still with me, if you want to see what I come up with, drop me an emoji of a butterfly, because yeah, this girl is changing her ideas on makeup. Guys, going forward, when I purchase makeup, I don't want to just buy anything because it's new and it's out there. I want to be more concerned about whether or not the makeup is indeed something that is good for my skin type, my coloring, and whether or not it is going to serve me in the long run. I don't want to just buy it because it's the newest, the latest, and the greatest, they say. So with that in mind, I'm going to head back there. First, I'm going to take a sip of tea and try to find a dupe, and then we're going to come back and do some makeup. So yeah, drop me a emoji of a butterfly because I feel like I'm transforming in the comments section if you're with me. So we're situated here in this drawer where I have my Dior palettes and lippies and some other palettes as well, and I want to just pull a few to see if I can come up with anything close to rose organza. I'm using my phone here to just rein in the picture of what this palette looks like. I know the lighting isn't that great here, but there's a pop of pink here. To me, it's a muted pink right in the center, and then there's some kind of like creamy, almost leaning taupey pinks there, and this iridescent color, and then a kind of a mid-tone brown there. So that's what I'm going to try to dupe. See if I can just scope out this drawer for something similar. I might have to go into some of my Tom Ford palettes as well. And excuse my nails, I was trying to just see if I could do a French manicure, so I have to practice. I'm not there yet. I was in the garden yesterday and there was all kind of dirt in my nails from digging. So I cleaned them out, but they still looked yellow. So I said, why don't I try to replicate I'm always doing that, French manicure, and I'm not there yet. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to have this picture to the side here as I pull everything to see if it will give me one or two at least colors that are similar to this palette. So I have a couple palettes that I pulled up that I think may help. First of all, I'm looking at Dior 233 Eden Rock. So there's something in this palette that made me think I can replicate a color from this palette here, and I think it's this shade here that I was hoping would be the one for me. I'm not sure. It's more white looking than pearlescent looking. See it there? Let's just swatch it. Of course, I don't have the actual palette to refer to. It's so dark over here. But this is what I have. I do have a light above, but it's not reflecting too well. But that would be what I use to get this color right here. Now I can't blow it up. Oh, there we go. So that's what I would use to get this shade right here. I would use this, I think. And like I said, the formula may be way better now than, of course, what it was on this older palette here. I've had this a while, so 233 Eden Rock would be the iridescent color. It doesn't lean pink though. It just maybe slightly on my skin. And another Dior palette I pulled up is 479 by Dior. And why did I pull this one up? I think for this shade right here and maybe this medium brown. So I feel like I can get two colors out of this one. Yeah, I think with this palette I might be able to, looks different on the screen there, but I might be able to pull that brown, that deeper brown, and that's about it. I don't think this will work. That's more of an apricot. So I'll pull the deeper brown from there. Yeah, I think that brown is a good brown for this look. I don't have that pink matched. And I also think there's one other shade, maybe in this Prada palette, that may work for that iridescent color. So let's try it. If I can get in this, like this color right here. Either it will work for that iridescent color or the pink. Let's swatch it. Oh, it's gorgeous. Oh, I think I would be very happy with this color combination. I don't know why it's not showing up well. I think I'm going to pull that just in case, because that just might be this or it might be that for me, depending on what else I find. So let's go to Chanel. This one has a pink in it right there, and it also has this taupey brown, but I think this pink may be closer to Dior's pink. You can see that right there. So I'm going to pull that. Yeah, that pink may be a little more richer looking than this one, but I think that's what I have. I don't think I have anything else that will work. I think these Guerlain palettes are rather rich. Do I have a pink? Oh, I think there's a rosy pink one in here in one of these. That's pretty, but now I'm getting messy. I'm not putting things back. But I'm just trying to see if there's a... Ooh. Now this pink from Guerlain, I think it's showing a lot more richer than the... Yeah, we're going to pull this pink. And look at this color here. These two might just be it for me. And there is that color there. So let's pull this palette. This is Majestic Rose right here. So this might be the palette that will do it all. Of course, my phone has gone out, but on your screen you will be able to see the Rosa Gardens out there. But this is pretty darn close. Okay, we're back, ready to do the makeup. I have already used some of the Maybelline Age Rewind eraser. This is their concealer or corrector, and I used it under my eyes and anywhere else I needed it, practically all over my face, to be real. So I did that before going in with the serum from Dior, which I wish I had done the serum first, but my skin was just having a breakout of oil everywhere. So this is the serum. It is the Super Booster Serum, actually. So basically I'm just going to take it down my neck and just give some moisture and hydration right in this area, because I've already used the corrector mostly all over my face. I did put a little here and on the sides, but this is really good stuff. I often use it as my primer when I'm using Dior. I have 3 foundations from Dior. The liquid foundation here, this is the Skin Glow, it's Forever Skin Glow. And then I have the stick foundation from Dior, and then I have the powder formula. I think for today I'm just going to use the liquid foundation because it's the oldest and it needs to be used. Although I love the stick and the powder, I love them all equally. I think Dior does a fantastic job getting the undertones right in their base products. So I'm just going with a scoop. But look at that, you see? It's just so perfect for me. Really need to stop buying foundations and use what I have. So next I'm going in with the corrector. I call it a concealer, but they call it a corrector, so they know. So I'm going to go in with this brush. Actually, do I want to put on any more? The brighter one? I think I will. I'll put a little bit here. I don't want to mess with these areas too much. And now with a little bit of bronzer in the Canage design here, but the light color. Let's just go with a little bit of this. Right here, right here. Alrighty, now let's do some blush. And I have 2 blushes from Dior. This one is $8.25, and I think it's the best one for me to use. Even though it's a little deep, I think it's still rosy, so I'm going to go with it. It's going to go in there. It's a beautiful motif on this blush. There, it's like it's naturally there. I like it a lot. We pulled several palettes, but at the end I think the Guerlain palette just was so perfect for this look, I think. Not all of it, of course. I think the two pinks in here, that iridescent pink and this pink here. But something tells me that the Organza Rose palette has more white in that finish. I had pulled this palette thinking it might be a good dupe, but now I'm not so sure. I had also pulled the Prada palette, I'm dropping the brushes, thinking that this pink, where is it, right here, may be a great dupe for the pink and that iridescent color all in one. I don't know, but this Guerlain palette is really saying something. And then I pulled this Chanel palette thinking that this pink may be closer to Dior. But Dior says that this pink, the pink in that Organza palette, is just more intense. And then I pulled this Dior palette thinking that this white here would be the iridescent color. And it is not an iridescent, it's more of a satiny color. So I think to start off, I think I will be using, I need to find the right brown. I did not find the right brown so far. I do like the brown in the Prada palette. I didn't put on highlighter, I forgot that. But I'm going to put on powder and highlighter too. I'm just trying to make sure I have the right palettes here. Most of these are not. They all look alike. That's the thing about Dior's regular packaging. From the foundation, powder foundation, to this here shadow palette, that black lacquer, to the, I think this is a blush. They all look alike. It's hard to tell. So I like that they have that new motif, that canage motif on the new packaging there, new eyeshadows. But I'm looking for the right brown. This brown, I thought it would be good, but it's leaning, when I look at it on my hand, it's a little red. And if I'm not mistaken, that brown wasn't too red. So let's look, let's look, let's look. This brown in here is too, it's a medium brown, but it's satiny. It's not matte. It's not the right brown. So I need to find a medium brown. This brown is more of a caramel or that saddle brown. It's not right either. Even though this isn't the right brown, it's not as light. I'm going to use it. And I'm going to start with it right now just because we got to get through this. It's a matter of time and all. And I think it'll work. It's what I would prefer to have the brown as anyway. So this is what I would prefer to have. And why did I get such a small brush? And actually, I'm liking it a lot. May have a little plum in this brown. At this point, I'm saying, Julia, just buy the palette. Just buy the palette. Just buy the palette. It would be easier if Nordstrom had it. They do not have it. So I would have to order it from Dior's site. This is looking more plummy than brown. I would have to order it from Dior's site, and I don't know about returns from Dior's site. And do I want to be bothered with returning it to Dior? That means shipping it back. I don't want to do that. Putting on a little bit of a primer here, the glitter primer. And I'm going to take that pink with my finger from the Guerlain palette and just place it here. It's not a glitter color, but I'm just putting it back here. So let me just use a brush. It's looking more pink than rose, isn't it? At this point, I'm really feeling like I should just go ahead and buy the palette. Because it's a new formula and it doesn't have talc in it, and it does have that cornflower extract that is supposed to be good for the skin. And I will get to see the true color of it. I think it's telling me that I should buy it. That just go ahead and buy it and not be so worried about it. Now this color definitely has some iridescence to it. Some light is emitting to the inner corner there. So that's the effect I feel I would get with the Dior. I'm not getting a rosy like color. Maybe I should go into this Chanel palette right here and pick up this kind of color here. I think this color is satiny. Yeah, that's more of the rose color that I wanted. Yeah, and it's showing up better than I've ever seen it show up before. Maybe because I have the pink down first. Definitely want it to look more rosy than I want it to look pink. So now I'm not feeling so bad. I just have to shop my stash back there for a dupe of the brown. I'm sure there's something in either a Tom Ford palette or something else, if I look closer, that will give me that rosy look. I'll be done, and of course you can't tell me what you think here, but you can let me know in the comments if you think that this look is pretty close to that look that we saw from the palette. Of course, we only have the pictures. We don't have the actual palette, so it's kind of really hard to know. Compare apples to apples, so I feel like we're comparing apples to oranges, but I'm liking this look. I think it would satisfy me to some degree, not totally. Next, we're going to do a lip. I'm going to spray on some Miss Dior while I contemplate my lip. I like how this settles everything down. It grounds the look. This brightens the look. I think I may go for this. This is one of the holiday releases, I believe. I think it has the glitter in it. And it comes off looking like metal or chrome. And I'm very happy with it. Okay guys, this is my dupe eyeshadow look for the Rose Organza palette. I really feel that I really feel like it's close, but I don't know the formula. I'm still wanting to know, is that formula going to be good? And I also feel like it just might be too light for me. That iridescent shade up here just might have a lot of fallout. I don't know. Tell me, what would you do? From the look I created, from what I already have on hand, do you think it would be much different from this? What do you think? This brown gives me everything I want in a brown as an outer color, as an outer corner color. But my question to myself is whether or not the pink would show up as well as the pink I put together today. It really came out nice, I think. And whether or not this would have a lot of fallout, this iridescent pinky white color here. I think I have what I need already. I think I should be content. I just really want to try out that formula. What would you do? Let me know down in the comments. So we're going to wrap this up. Butterfly emoji, because you're stuck with me so long. And you like where I'm going with the content, you know, kind of figuring things out. And also, let me know, would you be satisfied with what I've created here? Or would you go for that new palette, Rose Organza? It's the one that I feel like is not so blah, but yet it's bright enough that it just brings some life to the face. It may be on the other spectrum too light for me, or it might be somewhere similar to this. Okay, bear in mind that I used a deeper brown on the outside, and if I had the palette, I probably would do the same if that brown did not work out for me. But so far, and look at that. You can see the sparkles in the lippy. I like it. It's settling down. It kind of grounds the face. I'm just going to try a little bit of this gloss in the middle. I love the smell. Okay guys, thank you for hanging with me today. Like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know you're out there, you know. I really appreciate you guys. I appreciate everyone who is finding this a place that they can check out from time to time and get some looks, you know, or some thoughts on makeup. So yeah, I'm so happy you're here. Please consider subscribing if you haven't. Don't be a ghost. Don't ghost me, you know. Don't be in the background and not showing up. Come on in. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.